Okay, SOL chemistry people. All right, so these couple videos here that are posted in this folder are going to take you through what the SOL will look like electronically, and then I'm also going to go through the practice questions that are in TestNav, which is the app that we use to take your SOLs on. And so if you have a school laptop, you'll be able to do it yourself. But this video is going to guide you through each question, or these videos will. But the first thing I want to talk about is what we should do before the SOL, right before you're going to take the SOL, just some testing strategies. And so I want you to see what the SOL looks like and talk about the test strategies that you should utilize when taking the SOL. And then the next video will kind of go through all of the practice items on the practice SOL, the online one in TestNav. Okay, so let's talk about it. So the first thing is the day of the test, you should have mentally prepared your own chemistry SOL cheat sheet. So what I mean by that is here's a bunch of formulas, equations, different things you should write down on your scrap sheet of paper before you start taking the test. So I'm not talking about bringing a cheat sheet into the testing room. I'm saying once your proctor says begin, you don't begin. You take the scrap paper that's given to you, and if your test examiner doesn't give you a scrap sheet of paper, instead of reading question one, you raise your hand and you ask for a couple of scrap sheets of paper, and you try to recreate your own cheat sheet. So leading up before the SOL, so we're talking about a couple days before, you should make your own cheat sheet. So this is posted in the folder where you found this video. So you can use this as an example. You don't have to use everything that's on here, but a lot of these things will show up on the SOL. Like percent error will show up, a couple times. Molarity always shows up. So knowing all the, basically these things show up. If it's something that you know and you're locked in and you don't need a reminder, then don't put it on your own version of the cheat sheet. But if it's something that you constantly make a mistake on, make sure you write it down on your own cheat sheet. Okay, so here's an example. This other thing here has a lot more examples of things you can write down. I wouldn't suggest trying to recreate this whole thing, but something with here are the different like here are the gas laws. Maybe write down all the gas laws, or maybe just write down this combined gas law, knowing that if you cover up temperature, then you get this gas law, and if you cover up pressure, then you get that gas law, and if you cover up volume, you get that gas law. So figuring out what's going to work best for you. Everyone who's taking it is going to have kind of their own individual cheat sheet, and it's just whatever you think you need to do. Now, I would suggest, you don't have to do this, but I tell my students, I've taught chemistry for 18 years. I've been around the SOL a lot, and when I see students actually, when we say begin the test, the students that just start answering question one right away and moving on, and they don't spend the time making their own cheat sheet or making their own formula sheet, they do as well as I think they're going to do. But the ones that don't start the test right away and they start writing and they take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, because there is no time limit, take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, make your own cheat sheet, and have that stuff there to remind you of, oh yeah, molarity is moles per liter. I got to convert milliliters to liters. Or, oh yeah, to go from particles to moles, I divide by Avogadro's number. So making sure you have that stuff locked down and you have that reference sheet and you use it when you need it will benefit you. And the kids that end up doing that always do better than how I anticipate they would do, right? They always do a few questions better than what I think they might do. And it's because, they took the time to have little reminders there, because the test is designed to, make you second guess yourself. And so if you write down molarity equals moles over liters before you read the question that asks about molarity and they give you milliliters, you can look at your cheat sheet and say, oh, okay, yeah, I got to convert milliliters to liters, and then I can do moles divided by liters to get the molarity. So I think it's very important to do that. If you have any doubts about being able to pass the SOL, you should take the time and make your own cheat sheet, try to have it memorized. And so when you walk into the test, when the test examiner says begin, you don't begin, and you recreate that cheat sheet from memory on your scrap sheet of paper. And you can just keep raising your hand and asking for more paper, and you're good to go. All right. So let's look at TestNav. And again, I'm not going to go through the test questions on this video. That'll be for the next video. I just want you to see how to log into TestNav and get to the practice items and what the periodic table looks like. All right, so let's look at that. All right. So again, if you have a school laptop, you should have this icon. Okay. If you haven't restarted your computer inside the school recently, then make sure you do that a few times. So that all the updates can run, so you have the latest version of TestNav. But let's go ahead and click on TestNav here. And again, I'm going to want to show you what the test looks like. Okay. All right, so TestNav will open up. And what you're going to do, you don't have to put in any username. You don't have to put in any password. All you're going to do is go to Virginia Practice Items, and you're going to go to Science, Chemistry, and I'm just going to click on the non-audio, and we'll start our test. Okay, so one thing to understand is the practice items, there's only 27 practice questions here. When you take the SOL, it'll be 60 questions. Okay, 60 questions. But basically, the 27 questions that are in this practice kind of cover most, not all of it, but most of the content that you'll be asked about. So if you understand these 27 questions pretty well, then you're in good shape. Just make sure you take the time to review everything before the test. All right, so I'm going to click start. And again, I want you to see how the test is going to look electronically, because just remember, you don't get the SOL is not paper pencil. So all the practice tests that you have available in our Schoology group, those are all paper pencil. They're designed to be the same types of questions you see, but it's always different when you take an online test versus a paper pencil test, okay? So let's just get to know what this looks like. So this is just a multiple choice question. Just like any SOL, you got the pointer tool. You have to have the pointer tool on to select an answer, okay? So I'm not telling you what the right one is yet. I'm just showing you how to do this. All right. You have the X tool. You can X things out if you need to. You have a ruler. Now, I've never seen a ruler question on the chemistry SOL. So I don't know if you're going to need it, but you got an inches ruler and you got a centimeters ruler. And, the only place I might see them use one of these rulers is if they ask you to measure something. And you remember, for chemistry, it's about having that estimated digit. So, make sure, if you can see it to this tick mark, remember, if the calibrations give you the tenths place, then you have to estimate to the hundredths place, that kind of thing. All right. You also have an online calculator, okay, with the functions you pretty much need. But if you're used to using a different calculator, bring it. You're allowed to use a calculator. Now, the proctor is probably going to have to clear the memory, but that's okay. And if you want to borrow one from your chemistry teacher or from me before the day of the SOL, you can always do that. All right. So those are just your general tools. And so as we scroll through it, let's just look. Right. We have multiple choice questions. Here's a free response question. We're going to have to type our answer in there. Multiple choice. Here's another kind of free response. We're going to have to click and drag our answers in there. Here we're going to have to click and drag our answers in here, okay? So I just want you to see how that here, we're gonna have to type our answer, okay? Type our answer. So we have multiple choice and free response. Now, for the actual test, it's about 80% of the questions will be multiple choice, and 15 to 20% will be these types of questions. They call them technology enhanced questions. So, you can call them free response questions or whatever. But so just not your traditional multiple choice, okay? But the main thing I want to show you today in this video is that, and this throws students off a lot, and so you want to make sure you know what to expect going in. All right, so when you're taking your tests in class, you get a periodic table that you can hold, all right? You're not going to get a paper periodic table that you can hold in your hand during the chemistry SOL. You have to click on this folder here, exhibits, and a periodic table will pop up. So you do get a periodic table, and it has all the information that you normally get for when using a periodic table. You just got to know how to use it. So right now, the periodic table tells me that metals are on this side of that staircase and non-metals are that way, with the exception of hydrogen, right? We got our transition metals, we got our lanthanides and actinides, our F block here and stuff. But understand that right now, the only thing that's on the box is the chemical symbol and the atomic number. But like if I click on nitrogen, all the information falls in the box. So I get the chemical name, I get the average atomic mass, and I get the atomic number. It tells me what everything is. All right. So if I needed to know information about barium, I just have to come over here and click barium. Or if I needed uranium, I'd come down here and pick uranium. Now, does that mean you have to memorize the name? No. So let me show you a question. Okay, so notice anytime they give you the name of an element, they also show the chemical symbol. So if you didn't know where scandium was on the periodic table, well, you're searching for SC. So you go here and you kind of search around and here's SC. So you can click on it and then you get all your information that you need for scandium. So notice that if they think you're going to have to reference the periodic table and they give you the chemical name of an element, they're also going to show you the chemical symbol so you can find it on your periodic table. All right? Okay. So I'm just going to log out of here for now. But the next video is actually going to go through those practice questions and talk about how to do them. All right? So you might want to go through those practice items on your own first and then come back and listen to my explanation and see how you did. Or you can just kind of watch the video and go along and maybe take some notes as you do it. All right? So have a good day. Hopefully you found this helpful.